All right, we're connected to the chat. This is cool. Good morning, Miss Babcock. I don't know if you're there or not. I don't see you in there. But I am trying something new today for lunch walking. I was at the airport yesterday and someone turned me onto this walking path that's real close to the airport. So here I am. And right next to it, this is a True by Hilton. So it's the Albany Airport True by Hilton. And again, I don't know where this trail is going to go. Just trying to see, hey, how you doing, Cole? Do you hear me well enough? I got a lot of wind and I got a new microphone set up that I'm trying. So just trying to different times of the day. If I'm going to do the live streams. I went out this morning. Really good morning for being out there. It was cool and crisp. But yeah, just trying different times of the day, kind of seeing when people are most active. I know Disney streamers are on right now, and a lot of people gravitate that direction. But oh, thanks, Cole. Yeah, I like this microphone setup. It's actually the cheapest thing I've ever bought. I think the whole thing off of Amazon was, I think it was $7.97. And that wasn't on sale. I think that's the normal price. Read good reviews on it. And I'm like, yeah, we'll give it a shot. But yeah, I'm just checking out this walking path today, real quick lunchtime stream. See how, what kind of interest I can draw here at this time of day. And then tomorrow night, or tomorrow, hello, Susan, or Suzanne, I apologize. I will be doing one in the evening. It's also the weekend, so to make it a little bit easier to be someplace, mid to late afternoon into the evening. I'm debating on which location I'm going to go to at this point, but it'll be someplace different, maybe a little more interesting than a high school track or this path that the town put in. So again, I was at the airport yesterday, and the guy said, "Hey, I see you walking here every day, going up and down the parking garage ramps." I said, "Yeah, just trying to get in shape for my daughter's wedding," which I can report this morning I was 265. So I started this journey way heavier than that. Originally, I started off at, like I said, 352 the day my dad passed May 11th, 2 years ago. And I'm hoping to be maybe even down 100 pounds now by my daughter's wedding. I don't think I can, I don't know. I'm not going to say I can't get 10 pounds off in the next 28 days because I've done pretty well. I've got a bunch of little kids over here on a bridge over there. So I do know where this is going. I've been here before, so there's a road that runs right underneath there. Hey, John V. So yeah, the guy told me about this path. I'm like, yeah, we'll check this out. Yeah, listen, this area, well, this area I live in is noted for quasi Bigfoot sightings. And it's funny you should say that. It's one of the paths I walk is the New York State rail trail. And it's actually pretty nice. This is a town walking path. I don't know how far down I'll go on it, but I know it goes across the other side of the road, and then there's a bridge over here, and I hesitate to get too far off the beaten path, but there's a bridge that crosses that. The end of that road is the Albany County Airport, and where I'm normally walking at this point in time in the day. So he suggests come over here, check it out. It's nice. The town of Colony is the name of the town. That's Colonie. They've got a couple really cool town parks locally here. Just north of me in a town called Clifton Park, which I know John V probably knows. He's either driven through it or flown over it. And Clifton Park has a bunch of really cool things as well. So yeah, this is it's very green. We've had so much rain. It's unbelievable. Hey, Miss Tom, good morning. Good to see you. It's good. I think every one of these lives I've given to CeeLo props because he's the one who's kind of convinced me to get into all of this in the first place. So yeah, I'm not going to go too much further that way. It dead ends at the highway. But first time I've been on this path. Yep, Clifton Park, New York. That is a little town just north of us, and Saratoga just north of that. And then you're in what we call the Lake George and Adirondack region. I'll be spending a little bit of time up there. I'll let you guys know since there's 4 of us here. There is a chance that based on the cost of Route 66 this summer, because everybody's out on Route 66 this summer, who's a streamer, vlogger, whatever, I priced out last summer. I can't remember what got in the way last summer, why I didn't do it. We did go down to Nashville. I know maybe that might have been it, the cost of going to Nashville with the family. But Route 66 is like 3 times the expense as it was last year, just in the hotels alone. That doesn't include the fuel jump, which it is what it is. The fuel, you really can't control that. That's something you just know you're going to pay for. But we have a couple ideas I'm bouncing around to keep it a little more local and possibly the East Coast. But there's also the Lincoln Highway, which does run across the states. I'm sure Cole knows a little bit about the Lincoln Highway, but runs directly across the states. Has that Americana to it. And then right here in New York and from east to west is also Route 20, which is the longest road as far as Interstate 20, which is not a 20. I guess it's Route 20, is the longest road, I believe, still in the country. But that's also a possibility. Just trying to get away from the crowd, do something a little bit different. I was on last night, and the last couple nights, just looking at who's out on Route 66, and everybody's out there. Oh, Round Lake. Yeah, I fish at Round Lake. No kidding, Cole. That is, yeah, I fish up there all the time. 100th anniversary, yeah. You know, it's funny, Suzanne, because I was on, if you go back really early in me doing this YouTube gig trying to lose weight, I was out on Route 66 at a Texaco station. I bought a shirt at the restaurant. It's a 100th anniversary. So I knew then, this time I got gas the other day, 403. Yeah, well, we don't have that in New York. We're pushing closer to 475. I would say the local average is maybe 260. Or not 260, 460, I apologize. You know, we're tax heavy here. And the other thing that we do in New York is we are similar like California and Chicago or Illinois. We add in the ethanol in the summer for the summer blend, which drives the price up quite a bit. I think it's an average of 10 to 20 cents per gallon just because of the summer blend. It's, you know, it's unfortunate, but you know, the idea is that you're going to put less CO2 in the air. And I've done a little research on that. I don't really have an ideology. I don't have a political standing really towards anything, which drives my wife nuts. But you end up burning more fuel because the alcohol and the gas evaporates so much quicker, and especially in the heat. Yeah, 389 in Asheville, no kidding. That's I'd love to have that. It may come back. So yeah, so I'm playing with this DJI gimbal. I think it's pretty cool. I know it stabilizes and doesn't freeze up like the piece of junk I had. So it's kind of neat. I know some people who have used them that don't like them. They say they're too heavy. Isn't Route 66 where the garage sales are? Yeah, antique stores, garage sales. I was looking at all the things that I would be doing out there. I'm kind of more into like the neon and nostalgia, old motels, roadside lodges, things of that nature. You know, really there's a bunch of old, I hate to call them junkyards, but antique yards for cars and trucks out on that road that nobody's really covering, where you can, especially when you get down into the, you know, towards California, this Southwest states and through like Oklahoma, you know, through the central part of the country. They have some of these old, quote unquote junkyards with some classic cars in there. And I'm like, that's kind of right up my alley. You know, we'll see where it goes. And, well, like I said, it's, no, this isn't much of a walking path. The guy drummed this up to be something special. And, I'm walking down this path and I can see the Hilton, Garden Inn, which is literally on the same road as the True. So he made it sound like this is going to be one heck of a walk. I'd rather be walking the parking garage. Yeah, salvage yard. That's a better name for him, Suzanne. Going in there, find an old vehicle. We got one close to us that has a bunch of classics in it, and love it. Yeah, I agree, 100%. See, eye candy, Cole. They've drawn, you know, so, you know, I was reading an article, you know, and I don't like to take things too much off face value, but, you know, someone who's been on Route 66 for a long period of time wrote something up that Route 66 isn't what it used to be type of thing, meaning that Route 66 had that nostalgia, but now people have realized that there's money to be made there. and they're coming in. Not that I have a problem with them fixing it all up. I think it's a good thing. But, you know, they've made it more commercialized than it used to be. And it's taken away some of the feel of what it was. So, again, I don't know what it was. I have not done that route. So, the Mojave Desert has some cool spots. I've heard there's some Cadillac, is it Cadillac Ranch or someplace where they stood up cars, which I recently found out about, watching somebody else's vlogs. But I'm coming out to the corner here, and as you come to the corner, you'll see my parking garage that I walk pretty much every lunch for quite a while actually now. Even when it was cold, I would come over. But that's the Albany County Airport over there, and so there's my parking garage that I spend a bunch of time on walking up and down. But yeah, so I'm not going to go to the airport. But yeah, this walking path, although nice, is not exactly what the fella who explained to me. It's a really nice walking path. It's totally, it's probably less than a mile, which is way under what I normally do. But yeah, so just so you guys know why I'm doing this now instead of this morning, I get a couple people in the morning, and I just wanted to check it out to see what the midday crowd would look like. And again, I know I'm competing with a bunch of other people, which I'm not really trying to compete with them. Just trying to have a chat with people while I'm doing this stuff. So I'm nervous to go to the desert. Yeah, well, that is always a concern out there. Someone told me you want to be out there in a Tesla, and I'm like, my buddy Sean Urban has a Tesla. He loves it. I just don't know how they handle it in the heat. I've heard the batteries drain quicker in cold and heat, but I don't know if one is better than the next. But yeah, I would drive straight through and bring my toolbox with me. I drove the Trans-Canadian Highway as a kid. And when we did that, we had our toolboxes because we were in an old Dodge D150, my buddy Bob and I. And was it Bob? I don't know if it's Bob or not. I can't remember. It's long enough ago. And, you know, just in case we had to repair anything, we had everything with us to take care of that type of business. The new trucks are not as easy to fix. The Illinois is original chopped up, so you can drive it 2-lane Route 66 next to the Modern 2. Yeah, we were surprised actually. The little restaurant that I went to in Texaco, I think that was what was the name of that town? It wasn't Findlay. That's Ohio. Be darned if I can remember where we were, but yeah, it was right off the main highway. It was considered 66. Got off the side road is what I thought it should be like, but then there wasn't much left of it. We drove around looking to see where 66 ran, but it really just diverted back out to the 4-lane highway. I had 4 bottles of lotion. And no kidding, I tell you, this time I laugh because I know what you're saying. I just went through a winter where I never used to dry up the way I do. Then I put a wood stove in the house just to kind of, get back to what I did as a kid. As I got older, I'm like, yeah, I always liked the wood stove. And it dried me out like, I've never been dry before. So, yeah, it's lotion every day. My wife bought some that works really good, so I use that. Couldn't even tell you the name. Tesla credit charge to start it. And credit card, I apologize. And there's no off switch. No kidding. I didn't know that. Put a kettle on top, learned from a friend. Yeah, they're weird. Yeah, well, Tesla, I don't know. I've driven in them. I've actually had someone take me for a ride in one. I had to do an Uber literally from this airport. There goes a plane right there. It's pretty cool. I watched believe it or not, I found a live stream yesterday. It's just a guy at an airport who is literally live streaming planes take off. Never knew that existed until yesterday, and I've been doing YouTube stuff for a while. This is a place called Shaker Ridge Country Club. Good friend of, the kettle on the wood stove, 100%. Yeah, I have one. It's it works to some degree. It just puts a bit of moisture in the air, but still drying me out. But anyway, back to that Tesla. So I had to order a Uber one day from the airport over to pick up my truck, which was in the shop for the 4th time. I told them what the problem was, and they kept telling me it wasn't, and it ended up being exactly what I told them. And they had to replace the front axles on a brand new Dodge Ram. And I'd read online that what could be, and I went down underneath the truck, and sure enough, the axles were rattling. And they kept telling me that wasn't the issue, and it ended up being the issue. But that was on the 4th trip. So I had to return a rental car here. And yeah, the airport guy is out by you, actually, in California, LAX. And so I returned a car, and the airport pickup was like $40 or $45 to get me to where the truck was. Off airport, right here in this parking lot for the Hilton Garden Inn, was $18. And we're talking about less than a quarter miles worth of walking to get to my car, to get to that Uber pickup. I'm like, you know, I think we'll walk over and pick it up. You know, save myself, you know, 25 bucks. Actually, it was 27 bucks. So, but yeah, so this is the walking path that the guy told me was so outstanding. And I would rather see you guys in a parking garage walking up and down the hill because it's out of the sun. And I actually have to go in for something dealing with the sun. I've had a bunch of stuff plucked off me, but apparently I got one on my head. It is pretty, there's no doubt. I just wish it was a little longer and a little more remote. That's what I like about the New York State Rail Trail. That is one heck of a nice walk, and there's going to be spots on that I'm going to take you to. But again, on June 27th, this channel is going to change. I use it for what I intended it to be used for. I haven't deviated from it. I've deviated on ideas, but the idea was really to post something every day, hold myself accountable. I had nothing else has worked. This, as dumb as it sounds, my wife and I were talking about this morning when I weighed in. She goes, my God, so I guess if you put your mind to it. I said, really what it was, I was embarrassed that if I put up the very first day post from Hotworks, that big fat face I had, if on day 110, I put up a post. Airplanes are pretty loud, apparently, when you're standing underneath them. But if I put up a post on day 110 and I saw the big, massive, fat face, then I really didn't achieve what I set out to achieve. So it really was a heck of an accountability tool for a guy that's got a bit of ADD. And just, you know, I have 1,000 things going on in my head, different ideas, blah, blah, blah. And so have you seen the guy skateboarding across? No, that sounds like a cool idea. I'm sure, I hope he's doing social media on that one. I bet he probably get us a bunch of interest in that. That's an interesting idea. Yeah, wild. So anyhow, I guess on June 27th, you know, like I said, I'm planning on taking this a different direction. Going to be amusement parks when I go, but I have my mother-in-law lives in Buffalo, New York. That's why there's a lot of Buffalo content. And my daughter went to school out there, obviously. But I think my first quote-unquote quasi Route 66 might actually be Route 20 from the eastern New York State border to western New York State. And it's got a Route 66 feel to it. There's a bunch of stuff along Route 20 and just off Route 20. For example, we have the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. There's breweries, there's restaurants, there's diners, there's motels, lodges, museums, small towns. Hey, is this live? How you doing, CeeLo? Yeah, it's live for a few minutes. I'm walking into the True. I parked out back. I had a guy tell me at the airport, which I was just showing the folks, to come up to this trail that walks behind here and goes out into the woods. Well, it does, but it doesn't go very far, so it's interesting. This Tesla, yeah, those Teslas are great, but I gotta tell you, one I was in was a self-driver, and the girl was willing to, she was willing to let it drive itself from where she picked me up over at the Hilton Garden Inn to the dealership where my truck was at. Never touched the wheel, passed cars, changed lanes, stopped at red lights, turned corners. I mean, it did the whole bit, and I was shocked. I'm like, how does this thing know how to drive itself? Really, really, really wild. So, do I want one? I don't know. I mean, I do a lot of traveling, and I just don't know that it has the range for me. Like I said, some of you might know Sean Urban when he pops in the CeeLo's chat. I know Sean, or CeeLo knows Sean. But he drove the thing to Florida, and it sounded like it added like 6 hours to his trip. And doesn't sound like a lot of hours, but when you're already on a 22-hour trip and you add 6, now you're at 28. I think that adds up a little more than I'd like it to. Now, if I'm meandering around like Route 20, like I said, or go out Route 66, there are things off the beaten path that you'd like to go to, and I don't know that Tesla allows you to really do that. Yeah, hey, listen, I had a Ford. I can't remember which one it was, like the Ford FVV, whatever it was, that had some sort of self-driving. I mean, it didn't have autonomous driving, but you could let go of the wheel, and the entire time I had my hands right next to the wheel. My wife's like, it'll drive itself. I'm like, yeah, until it doesn't. You know, so but see, this is where this path started. This is the really cool path the guy told me about, and I kid you not, this thing goes maybe a quarter mile to the right up here and maybe a quarter mile to the left. But again, this wasn't really about the path as much as it was just trying to feel out, is midday going to work? You know, get a little more business, be a little more fun in the chat than just walking around in the morning with the backpack on with the weight in it. But yeah, about a quarter mile up the way this way is where it comes out to the road. Well, actually, I can do it. I think I have enough time. Close to enough time anyhow. And then there's a bridge that crosses the road, but both ends of the side, so it goes down both sides of the road, but they dead end at the dead end. They don't cross the road. There's no walking path across the road. They just walk across the bridge, dead end on the other end of each path on both sides of the road. It's really weird setup. Maybe they might not be done with it because the fellow told me this is pretty new. Yeah, I was hoping to go down to Nashville this weekend, but the cost of the trip, because I think the race being in town, and like CeeLo said, it's the season for Nashville, which I know from being down there last year. The cost of that trip was not out of control necessarily, but more than I wanted to spend to go down for really what would have been about 30 hours worth of my time. But I love it down in Nashville, and you know, I'll be down there again sometime this year coming up. Do I do GoFundMe? Do a GoFundMe? Suzanne, that's awesome. I'll set it up on my channel. Cole can make money. He's the one that gave me all the good ideas, so I'll let him make all the money off this if there's ever any money to be made off of this. I'm not pushing for money. I'd like to get to that 500. I think I don't even know where I'm at. I was at 200, maybe 210. I don't know where I'm at anymore. I haven't paid attention, but you know, I'm about 55,793 behind CeeLo. Something like that. But there's a chance I set up and do, I said this to CeeLo the other day, maybe do some Bills games and some Yankees games. I've been looking at Streamlabs on the laptop and how that sets up. And as soon as school's out and the wedding's over and I got time just to sit down and think it through, I think that's when the trouble's going to start happening, whether or not, because I do like this, I do like getting out and looking at stuff, like, you know, getting out and doing the vlogging stuff's kind of neat. If I have more time to really plan it out, yeah, I think the quality of stuff's going to get quite a bit better. But stuff CeeLo's doing with NASCAR and baseball, it's impressive. And, you know, I'm sure he's using Streamlabs based on what I'm looking at, but so we'll see how that goes. I know how to... Yes, crack me up. Anyhow, so here's the bridge. On the other side, there's a branch that goes down the other side of the highway that dead ends. It goes nowhere. So I'll get up on here and you'll be able to see it. But the path goes across the hill and towards the oncoming traffic. And at the very end of the hill, which I don't know if I can get close enough to show you this, but at the very end of the hill down there, it dead ends. And then on the right side, going with traffic, at the very end of the hill, dead ends. There's no crosswalk to cross over and use it as a loop. So you go one way, turn around, come back. It's just, maybe they're not finished with it. It's all I can come up with. But I noticed that when I looked at the map on this thing, which is kind of crazy. But, so anyhow, this is, every day I walk. Usually this would be up and down the parking garage, which I showed you earlier. Figured I'd turn this thing on. Again, I'm going to tell you honestly why I'm doing it. I told CeeLo, I wanted to post 110 days, and I was hedging on not doing it A couple weeks ago. I'm like, I don't think I can do it. Maybe a week ago. And I'm like, you know what? Let me buy that cheap gimbal, which I did. It froze on me. I used it up at Saratoga National. If you watch that video, you're going to get dizzy because it just bounces the whole way. And like, dang it, I'm going to go buy a good one. So I bought this 7P, has a tracker on it. I have no idea how that works. I'll figure that one out as we go. But this allows, at least gives me still posting something for 110 days. And I'm doing it while I'm doing something I was doing anyhow. Another airplane's ripping by. That's wild. That is a Legion that just went up through the woods there. But yeah, so this just gives me the opportunity to continue to do what I set out to do, which is 110 days. Going back to what I was saying earlier, I started this whole thing at 310 pounds. This morning I weighed in at 265, 264.9, whatever it was. So I'm super psyched about that. And when I started at the 110 day mark, I was already down some pounds because I started in February, maybe January. I'd have to go back and look at what the start date was. But it was after I started working out, quote unquote, and I found myself sitting on my ass, so to speak, for a couple hours a night each night when I could have been doing something else. I'm like, I have to come up with something. And I started thinking, every time I turn on the TV, I see CeeLo. Literally, he was doing live streams like a marathon pace. And I said to myself, man, if I got on YouTube and I had to post every day for an accountability bit, I think that might work for me. And voila, here I am. So thanks, Suzanne. Yeah, the wedding, man, it's 28 days away. It just shocks me. It's because I keep thinking 110 days ago, how far? Oh, I got so much time to pull this off. And had I taken that approach, I wouldn't have lost any weight, and I would have taken that approach. This YouTube gig, man, I don't know if that's something I could sell to people like, hey, man, use this for an accountability tool, start a business with it, whatever. Maybe. I don't know how many people would be interested in using YouTube for that type of thing, but man, does it keep you focused. And the editing part, I'm getting better at. The AI, I'm learning a little more about. I like the AI stuff. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, but it's really learning AI. It's not whether it's good or bad. It's the guy or woman who's doing the inputs and talking to the AI that makes it good or bad. So it's a very exacting thing. It's like coding. If you don't write the code right, you're not going to be able to get the what you want out of AI. So anyhow, let me spin this thing. Oh, there we are. So yeah, they got something to pluck off my head here. I gotta give them a call back. I want to set up the appointment. So I may do a few more of these lunchtimes ones. This was fun, seeing the chat and having you see what you guys are chatting about. But I do need to get back to work, and this gave me an opportunity to at least try this out at lunch. This is fun. I don't know how much it'll grow, if at all. And then I'm going to try one this weekend. I'm going to try an afternoon, I think, or maybe a really early morning, maybe up in Saratoga, New York, or Lake George area. So, Coach, if the trail turns into Yellow Brick Road, buddy, I have a Yellow Brick Road town in New York State that I'm going to take you to. It's dedicated itself to the Wizard of Oz. I'll leave you at that. You can do some research for yourself. And they literally put in a yellow brick sidewalk. So it's something else. Ball cap, sunscreen. Oh, yes, listen. I put ear dope on. I call it ear dope. I doped up my ears before I took this walk because I didn't know how much sun I'd be out in. I was a roofer. As a kid, I owned a roofing company. I started at 16 years old. And no shirts, really good shape, showing off for the girls driving past on the road. And did some damage to my skin. I've had the tips of my ears, you might be able to see, like a little squared off up here. They've been clipped, both of them. I got a dent in my nose that they took out. I couldn't believe, I don't know if you can see that or not, but I have a dent in my nose somewhere. I thought they were digging to China to get that off. On the back of my hands have been tore up. My back. So yeah, I'm learning I probably should have done a little bit better with the sunscreen as a kid. If I had a public service announcement to make to you folks today, tell your kids, yourself, put the sunscreen on. When I'm down in Florida, I sometimes wear the big brim boonie hat. I also have the hooded sweatshirts. I always wear a long sleeve shirt. I know some people down there like, why you wear a long sleeve shirt and long pants when I'm in a park? I do it because I'm dealing with the stuff I didn't take care of when I was a kid. So, and I'll be chasing that probably from now to the end of time. So, but listen, I hate to leave you at this point. Yeah, they clipped the ears for strays. Yeah, I know. They had to clip mine because it squared off. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it squared off. These things are huge, Dumbo ears. Yeah, when they had to get into this one, the needle was the worst part. This wasn't bad, but they put a needle back here, and oh, that was rough at best. So, all right, listen, I'm gonna leave you. I gotta get back to work, and I got just about 15 minutes to pull it off. So, I appreciate you popping in, and we'll try one in Saratoga or Lake George this weekend, possibly tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. I'll put it up as soon as I know. Have a great day. Suzanne, good talking to you. Miss Tom, great seeing you. Cole, CeeLo, thanks for popping in. Everybody who's popped in, I appreciate you all. John V as well. Have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.